Hi, my name is Dennis Pegden, CEO of Simio. Welcome to this tutorial on building a lathe using a process model. In this example, we're going to build from ground up a very simple model of a lathe that can be placed into a library and used like the other objects that come in the standard library. In this simple example, we have a lathe where we have entities arrive. They enter the lathe for processing. They delay by the processing time, and then they're transferred back out through the output node of the lathe. So what we'd like to do is build this simple object definition in Simio. So let me start by opening up my main model. And then in addition, I'm going to create a new model. And this second new model I'm going to call lathe. Now I'm going to open up the external view of lathe, which is the view that the user will see if they place one of these objects defined by this model into their model. So the first thing I'll do is I'll place a symbol that looks like a lathe in my external view, resize it a bit. Then I'm going to add a input node and an output node. The input node, I'll rename input. And I'll select the basic node class to give it its behavior. And on the input logic, I'm going to specify to send it to a processing station. And the processing station, I'm going to say create a new one, and we'll let it be the default name MyStation1. The output node, we'll just simply rename output. I'll select the node behavior. It's defined by the transfer node class. And we have no input logic since entities can't enter through this node. Now I'm going to add a couple of cues. The first cue I'm going to add is going to animate objects that are being processed by the lathe. So what we want to animate are the entities in MyStation1 that are in process. The second cue I'm going to add will animate entities waiting to get in the lathe. And so here I want to animate the cue MyStation entry cue. All right, so now I've defined the external view of what the user is going to see when they place this lathe object in their model. Next, I'm going to build the process logic. So I'm going to go to the process window. And the process window has three parts. It's got the steps that are used to build the process flow, the elements, and the tokens. Now we automatically added a station called MyStation1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that capacity to 1. That means that at most one entity can be in the station at a time. Now I'm going to go to the Steps tab and create a new process. And in this process, we're going to say this process is triggered by MyStation1 entered. So whenever an entity enters MyStation1, this process is going to run. This process will simply, in the transfer, that is, tell whatever object is handing me this entity that I now have it. It will delay by a processing time, and then it will transfer the entity from the current station to the parent external node named output. Now the delay, we want this to be passed in as a property. So we'll create a new reference property for the model called delay time. Now if we want to control that property, we can go to the interface window, and we see that property that we just added here, delay time. And we can do things like set the display name to say process time. We could also, for example, set the default value to random.uniform 0.1, 0.2 and set the default time units to minutes. Now that we've built this lathe object definition, we can use it. So let's place a source and a sink, drag the lathe out, and connect it with paths. And now we can run this model. And we see it animating, waiting in the queue as they're being processed, queuing up here to take their turn to get processed on the lathe. So as you can see, in just a few minutes, we've built from the ground up a custom object called a lathe and used it directly in this model. We hope you continue looking at our tutorials to learn more about Simio. And as always, give us a call if you have any questions or you'd like to see Simio applied to your applications. Thank you.